Boys, today we will start a new topic in mathematics for class 12 students, and the name of the topic is integration. Integration. Boys, I think all of you are familiar with a differentiation of functions. You know, in case of differentiation, if we have y as a function of x, then we can write differentiation of y, that is d of y. And for with respect to x, we always write by dx, d by dx, ddx of y, differentiation of y with respect to x, as this differentiation is represented by the symbol f dash x. This is the differentiation. And we have learned several formulae of differentiation in our previous classes, and from those formulae we are able to write the differentiation of any function, whether the function is expressed either linearly or in any form, or it is a type of a composite functions. Then using chain rule you have calculated several different types of differentiation. Here we are discussing about integration. Now first of all we have to learn what this word integration stands for. Boys, integration, it word simply signifies that it is a process of antiderivative. It is a process of antiderivative. What it means? Antiderivative means just reverse of derivative, opposite to derivative. That process is called integration. Literally, the meaning of this word is summation. Summation. To sum up, to add. That is the meaning of integration. Means here, what we are doing in integration, that we are trying to sum up, to add few things. Now, how to add? First of all, we will try to learn this concept, that how to add. Then we will try to learn what to add. Now the process of integration, we first of all we should discuss the process of integration. Now, it is a process just opposite to derivative. It is a process of antiderivative. Now what it means? Suppose you know derivative of sin x, ddx of sin x, that is cos x. All of you know that derivative of sin x is cos x. So, differentiation of a function is a function. The reverse process is, if you want to integrate this function, you will get this function. But how to integrate? There is a symbol for integration, and that symbol appears here from the first letter of the word summation, S. This symbol, modified form of the letter S, that is called the symbol for integration. Integration, actually I have already told you that this word stands for summation. So the first letter of this word summation, that is S, to be treated as a symbol for integration. Integral of cos x. Integral of cos x. That's the reverse process. Integral of cos x. And the one thing is here important, that differentiation of sin x, this d sin x, it stands for differentiation of sin x, but with dx stands for with respect to x. Similarly, integral cos x, this indicates that we have to sum up cos x. For with respect to x, we just write here dot dx. Why dot dx? You see here that in case of differentiation, we have to divide it by dx, and integration is the reverse process. So reverse process of division is what? Multiplication. So we have multiplied here dx for with respect to x. So integral cos x dx is equal to, this becomes sin x. Why sin x? Because differentiation of sin x is cos x. And therefore, integral of cos x should be sin x. So in this way, we are able to derive the different formulae for integration using the concept of differentiation. Was one more thing is important here, that there are two types of integrations. Two types of integrations means the first one is called indefinite integral. Indefinite integral. And the second one is definite integral. Definite integration. So the basic difference between these two we will discuss in the due course. That what is the basic difference between these two? You can understand that in case of indefinite integration, here limit of integrations are not defined, that from where to where you have to add. You have to add something, some particular object you have to add, but from where to where you have to add, that it is not defined here in indefinite. But in case of definite integration, the range is provided to you. For example, if you want to integrate, if you want to add cos x, here if range is not given, cos x dx, if range is not given, it is called indefinite. But if someone writes 0 to pi by 2, this means you have to add cos x in between 0 to pi by 2. So this is the example of definite integration. So indefinite and definite, there are two types of integrations. Now first of all, we should discuss indefinite integration. Indefinite integration. Now, as you know, the formula for integration are derived from the formulae from differentiation. You know, differentiation of ddx sin x is cos x. So that's why we are able to write here that integral cos x dx is equal to sin x. Now in mathematics, boys, always we have two types of techniques: direct technique and reverse technique. Just like as in quadratic equation you have learned in class 11 that for a quadratic equation, if quadratic equation is given to you, quadratic equation, if it is provided to you, how to write the roots of this quadratic equation. And the second technique, if roots are given to you, how to write the quadratic equation. Both the techniques are equally important in maths. Similarly, here, if we have differentiation of a function as cos x, then we should have a technique which will provide the original function, which when differentiation provides us this value. And that's why Leibniz and Newton together invented this branch. Now what happens? You see here, for several formulae we will discuss one by one, but before that we have to discuss here one concept. Boys, you see here, integral, you see here, it ddx of x square. You know what is the differentiation of x square? You know it is 2x. So as per this concept, we can write integral 2x dx is equal to x square. No problem, because differentiation of x square is 2x. So if we take the reverse process, then integral of 2x dx means for with respect to x, 2x dx, it should be x square. Again, take one more example. ddx of x square plus 5. Now you know that is 2x. Why 2x? X square, differentiation of x square is 2x, and plus 5 means its differentiation is 0. So it is 2x. Now therefore, if you opt it for integration 2x dx, it becomes x square plus 5. Very simple, because this 2x is obtained by differentiating this function. So when we integrate this function, we will get the original function as this. Okay. Now ddx of x square minus 100. What you will get here? You will get 2x. Then what about the integral of 2x dx? Integral of 2x dx is x square minus 100. Now this thing, it creates a problem that we have only one function 2x dx, 2x dx, 2x dx in each case, and their integral, the value of the integral, it becomes x square in one case, x square plus 5 in another case, x square minus 100 in third case. Why this thing is happening? If you think, boys, you will find that this is the constant whose differentiation is 0. So we are here directly, if original function is not given to you, and if it is given that integrate 2x dx, this means you have to search the original function from where this 2x appears. Then it may happen that there must be some constant in the original function which you are unable to write here by observing simply 2x dx. That's why for all integrals of such type, we generally write integral 2x dx is equal to x square plus c. What is c? This c is called constant of integration. Constant of integration. This constant, it tells us that whether if there exists some constant in the original function, say here 5, then we should take the value of c as plus 5. Or if it is minus 100, then you should take the value of c as minus 100. Or if it is 0, then you take the value of 0, plus 0. So it will provide all the answers to get the original function depending on the situation, whether a constant is present in the original function or it is not present in the original function. So whenever you are trying to integrate any function, always write plus c, because this plus c is the constant which disappears when we differentiate any function. So that's why it is not possible for us to write that constant value, that fixed constant value after integration. That's why we have written c, and this c is constant of integration. It is arbitrary in nature, means it depends on the problem. You can take c as any value. It may be 0, it may be plus 5, it may be minus 100. Now boys, let us move forward. You see here, now we are going to write different formulae for integration. Formula. The number one, integral x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c, always be there. And there is one restriction on this formula, that n should not be equals to minus 1. Remember it. This condition must be there. If n is equal to minus 1, you see here, this becomes what? 0. So if this becomes 0, it becomes undefined. So this formula holds only when n not equals to minus 1. This plus c should be always in this type of formula. Now one more thing. If you differentiate this right hand side, clearly you will get this function. How? You see here, if you differentiate it, what happens? 1 by n plus 1 is a constant. You can take it out. Now what is the differential of x power n plus 1? You see here, n plus 1 into x power n, and then the differential of this constant is what? 0. This n plus 1 cancels out with this n plus 1, and the final answer is what? X power n. So differentiation of this result is x power n. That's why integral of this result is this one. So you have to keep it in mind that in case of integration, we have to add 1 to this power, and then whatever be the power, that should be written here in the denominator. In case of differentiation, boys, say ddx of x power 5, if you want to write, then you have to take this power to left hand side and you have to subtract 1 from the power, 5x power 4. But here in case of integration, if it is written x power 5 dx integral, then you have to add one more power, 5 plus 1, then divide it by 5 plus 1 and then write c. So what happens? X power 6 by 6 plus c. So this is our beginning of integration. In this way you have to integrate any function which contains x power n. Now, suppose this formula fails to work if n is equal to minus 1. Now what happens if n is equal to minus 1? You see here, if n is equal to minus 1, that will provide you the second formula for this function. If n is equal to minus 1, what will happen? It becomes x power minus 1, that is 1 by x. Now 1 by x, if you want to integrate 1 by x, try to remember whose differentiation is 1 by x. You know, ddx of log x is 1 by x. You know it. ddx of log x is 1 by x. And that's why here, if n is equal to minus 1, it becomes 1 by x dx, and we write its integration as log x plus c. One more thing is important here, was that whenever you are writing the value of integral as log x plus c, always put modulus sign with x, because in front of log, you know, log x is defined for x greater than 0. X should not be 0 or should not be negative. So x is always greater than 0. So if nothing is mentioned here, if you put modulus sign, this means that we are taking whatever be the quantity here that is positive, and this is a gentleman's behavior. But if you are writing simply log x, that also be correct. But many of these students follow, many of the teachers follow this log mod x to write here, and that's why we are writing here. You can also write this equals to log x plus c. Here x is greater than 0. This thing you have to mention it, that x is always positive. Now if you put mod here, then it remains always positive, and that's why we prefer this way to write, not that way. Log mod x plus c. Now take the third one. Suppose was here n is 0, then can this formula holds? Let us try. N is 0, then x power 0, it becomes 1. Then if it becomes 1, then 1 dx means it is simply dx. Simply dx. Now if it is simply dx, then what about the formula to right hand side? If n is 0, then it becomes x power 1 by 0 plus 1, that is 1. So it is simply x plus c. So integral of differentiation of x is x plus c. Some experts may provide you to write here that D stands for differentiation of x, and now if you are integrating it, so integration and differentiation both are reverse process, so they will disappear and the final result is x, and then you have to write plus c. So in this way you can also remember this thing. So x power n 1 by x dx. Now the fourth one, you know, integral e power x dx. Try to search whose differentiation is e power x. You know, differentiation of e power x is e power x. So that's why integration of e power x is e power x itself. So it becomes e power x plus c. Again, you see here, number 5, integral a power x dx. A power x dx, we can write a power x divided by log a base e plus c. Because if you differentiate this result, you will get a power x as its differentiation. 1 by log a base e is common, constant, so it comes out So differentiation of a power x is a power x log a base c, and log a base c cancels out. Finally, you will get a power x as in the differentiation part of this, and that's why integral of a power x dx is a power x by log a base c plus c. Okay. So these are the 5 formulae. Now let us start with trigonometric part. That is number 6. Formula number 6. Integral sin x dx is equal to, was it will be minus cos x plus c. Why? You just think over it. Differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. So minus minus plus, and that's why we will get plus sin x here. So whenever, if you want to write formula for anyone, you should write in, you should check in this manner. Now number 7, integral cos x dx is equal to sin x plus c. Number 8, integral tan x dx is equal to log mod sec x plus c. How? Log mod sec x. You see here, if you differentiate log sec x, it becomes 1 by sec x into sec x tan x. So sec x cancels out, and we have here tan x, which remains here. That's why integral of this is log sec x plus c. And always while writing log, we put modulus sign. Now number 9, integral cot x dx, that is log mod sin x plus c. Number 10, integral sec x dx is equal to log mod sec x plus tan x, mod closed, plus c. Whereas if you differentiate this result, you will get this result. And one more formula we will discuss here for this one, but in the next class, not here, not in this class, because we have to solve the problems based on this formula using this result. And that's why we are writing here only one result, and we will discuss it separately. Now number 10, formula number 10. Number 10 is number 11. Now it is 11. After 10, it is 11. Integral cosec x dx is equal to log mod cosec x minus cot x, and then plus c. But remember all these formulae for solving your problems quickly. If you apply these formulae in several problems, and if you learn it as early as possible, you have mastery over this indefinite integration very easily. Now number 12. Number 12, integral dx bar root 1 minus x square. Now you know the differentiation of sine inverse x. Sine inverse x is 1 by root over 1 minus x square, or minus cos inverse x. You know, either you can write sine inverse x or minus cos inverse x. Anyone you can write, or plus c. Number 13, integral dx by. One more thing I have to say, boys, here. There is restriction over x in each of this inverse formulae. That thing we will also discuss in the next class, in the next video. So first of all, you just try to write all the formulae one by one, and the several complicated cases we will discuss in the long run. Now dx by x root x square minus 1 is equal to, you can write it as sec inverse x or minus cosec inverse x plus c. Anyone you can write sec inverse x plus c or minus cosec inverse x plus c. This will depend on your problem or the answer which is given in your book. Number 14, integral dx by 1 plus x square, that is tan inverse x, or minus cot inverse x, and then plus c. Plus c. You can write. So we have discussed 14 formulae. There are few more formulae. We will discuss one by one. Okay. Now number 15. Number 15. Integral sec square x dx. That is, whose differentiation is sec square x? Differentiation of tan x. So it will be tan x plus c. Integral cosec square x dx. That is minus cot x plus c. Integral sec x tan x dx. Sec x tan x dx is equal to sec x plus c. Because the differentiation of sec x is sec x tan x. Then number 18, this one is the last, integral cosec x cot x dx. That is minus cosec x plus c. So these are 18 formulae for integration which are derived from the part of differentiation. And you have to learn these 18 formulae, boys. You have to remember as early as possible. And you can learn only when you apply these formulae in several problems. So in mathematics, it totally depends on practice. Mathematics by practice. Now, there are few rules which we will discuss here. Just like as differentiation, we have rule for integration. Here, we should discuss only two rules, and then more rules we will discuss later on. Only two rules we have to discuss. That is rule 1, that integral fx plus minus gx dx is equal to integral fx dx plus minus integral gx dx. Boys, one thing you must keep in mind, that this rule is not a general rule. It is not applicable for all the functions. There is a restriction. In your book it is mentioned that integral this is equal to this. No, it is not always. If the functions are discontinuous, it is not possible for us to separate this integral, to distribute this integral. So there are restrictions, but at your level, this rule holds good. So that's why we will apply whenever we are getting two functions in the bracket, we can break it into integrals. Now, the rule 2, the second rule, that if constant exists, integral a into fx dx, if any constant exists, what we have to do? We have to take this constant out, and finally we will have integral fx dx. So constant will be out if any constant appears within this integral. So these are the two rules and the 18 formulae with the help of which we will try to solve the problems in the next video. Thank you, boys.